Thank you so much for staying with us all day long. We have nearly finished our presentations, so I hope this will motivate you all to stay here until the end. Motivation. Do you know what motivation is? Motivation is what prompts a person to act. Motivation is a word that is part of the popular culture, as a few other psychological concepts are. This sounds great, right? But what about the lack of motivation? Lack of motivation denotes absence of interest and driving force. While it doesn't have to be tied to a particular nationality, age, or social status, seniors suffer more often from it. Lack of motivation is practically considered as something normal in the old age, and it's linked to the negative association of growing old, and resigning oneself to the fact that at a certain point in life, we all lose the energy and enthusiasm to address obstacles or change our life. It's important to understand that when lack of motivation is accepted as a normal part of growing old and perceived over time, it can cause psychical and mental problems, such as several mobility limitations or memory loss. It's a move that deserves all our attention. Because of my grandparents, I have never considered growing old as a negative thing. On the contrary, I was really proud of how active they were. But things change, so do people too. And I witnessed how age became a barrier in their minds and noticed how this situation was seen as something normal by a lot of people because they were old. Camina Conmigo, Walk with Me in English, arises from the following hypothesis. A large percentage of people over 75 years old self-limit and discourage themselves because of social pressure rather than on account of any real impediment. At the same time, young people are not aware of how interesting, funny, and enriching interacting with older adults can be. Camina Conmigo is an intergenerational program that connects seniors and young people, asking them to spend a few hours in the life of the other person or do an activity they both love or want to try together. The program also makes communities get involved through strong relationships, reminding them of the importance of older adults in our community. The project does not try to define solutions to older adults' lack of motivation or make young people start to think differently about life, but it seeks to show participants and stakeholders the importance of empathy as a powerful tool to really take part in the experience and feelings of another person. I want them to never forget the funny part of sharing. It attempts to remind seniors that it's never too late to start something new, and younger generations of the significant wisdoms that their older adults can bestow upon them. So let's get into a little more details, always bearing in mind that Camina Conmigo will never have success without all the different stakeholders involved in the project. My partner, Cuidar a Dos, a program that provides tools and strategies to improve the daily life of caretakers, who supported the project by helping me find participants and overcome any difficulties due to distance and different time zones. An important part of the project was finding cooperators that wanted to support the project and really understand his goal. I offered them two possibilities: supporting the project by giving participants a special discount in their services, or offering their employers the chance to be part of the project as participants. Padre Rubino's residence was a very important cooperator. The psychologist of the center loved the idea, so she talked about it with some of the residents. I founded different organizations that supported Camina Conmigo, from €1 breakfast to half-price horseback rides. The participants were divided in two groups, one for the participants aged 75 or more, and another composed of participants between 18 and 35 years old. It was very important to me that each person would get something positive from the experience, not just in terms of relationship with their partner, but also in terms of better attitude towards the other generations. I started with just 2 people, because no matter what, people don't normally trust you without seeing any results, but I ended up having a very enriching and varying group. Once the pairs were formed, they chose what they wanted to do together from the list that Camina Conmigo was offering, or by spending a typical day with the other person. They spent some hours divided in 2 days together, first doing what the young person chose, and then what the older adult wanted. How did people know about the program? Word of mouth was the most important part. A lot of participants came on board because they knew someone who was part of the project before. But social media were also a perfect way to get visibility to the project. So I created a social media campaign. I wanted to promote Camina Conmigo in a light and funny way. The idea of the campaign was to approach the problem in a way that could grab people's attention without being related to any negative connotations such as loneliness or dependence. I asked people to take a selfie with their older adults, choose a word that defines them, and share it using the social media and the hashtag selfie with your older adult. The campaign helps young people understand that spending time with seniors can be fun and useful to build a broader culture of empathy. We have had cooperation between participants in such different areas, from horseback riding to football, sailing, or going to the opera. I would like to tell you the stories of each participant because all of them were really powerful, but then it will take us all day. So I'm just introducing some, but you can see all of them in the website caminaconmigoencoruña.com later if you want. You will not be disappointed. One of the participants, Luis, told his partner, Alfonso, that he didn't like to do things outside the residence because they never plan interesting things that catch his attention. However, visiting the aquarium really caught his attention. At Rubinos, they were really surprised about his decision, but Luis explained it to Alfonso that he didn't want to do things because he feels too old, and when the resident offers activities, they always treat them as babies, and this kind of interactions makes him feel really uncomfortable. On the other hand, Alfonso explained to me that the interactions make him enjoy the experience more, because we are always running without paying attention to what we have around us. Another person, Montse, told me that the time spent at the residence felt very short to her because of all the amazing stories of Lolly. I paired her with Lolly because she thought that staying with older adults was equal to just helping a person without truly enjoying the experience. But Lolly proved her wrong and showed her how enriching experience people can get through these kind of interactions. And I want to emphasize that the smiley faces are not just for the photo, they were for real. I picked up some of the participants after their time together, and I felt really happy because I could see that I was achieving my goal, perceiving how motivated they were again in life. Before solving a problem, we need to understand it, reminding the positive aspect in order to tackle the negative issues. We need to feel empathy and find real solutions. We need people who take pride in their older adults and spend time with them. We need to understand that people can feel abandoned, even surrounded by other people, when they feel that no one understands them. Lack of motivation in old age shouldn't be considered as something natural. Right now, different organizations in Coruña are interested in the program and the possibility to apply the idea in their own businesses and offer it to their clients. So I'm creating a manual that will provide them with all the details about important issues such as logistic, cost, or pairing methodologies that will help them implement the program, not just addresses to organizations in my hometown, but also in the rest of Spain. And I want to end my presentation thanking all the different people that helped me to create and run Camina Conmigo. Thank you so much for your time and support.